All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another weekend live stream. I am your host, Dylan Christopher Israel, but you can call me Dylan Christ Israel for short, if that makes sense. Some people may not like that joke. That's okay. That's supposed to be a funny joke. That used to be a pickup line of mine. I was like, well, my name's Christopher, but you can call me Christ for short, girl. Not a very good one, but it was one. And also did a great job of weeding out the overly sensitive people who can't handle a little bit of humor in their life. So anyhow, welcome to the weekend AMA. So for those of you who are new to the channel, every weekend I take about an hour to answer your questions. Not about me, but about your career decisions, where you're going in software. You know, what's a good path, just the stuff. Just give a little mentoring. I think it's really important. I think it does a lot of good, and it's something I always wanted to have as a developer. So, oops, let me open up chat here so I can get to them. So I always start off with a brief topic here as people come in, so we don't have this awkward silence. And I want to just do a brief thing about having the right attitude as a developer. I think this is really crucial. And unfortunately, not too many people have it. And on side projects specifically, right? So when it comes to side projects, you need to understand what it is you're trying to accomplish. Side projects are not always something that's there to make you tens of thousands of dollars. When you're just getting started, side projects are a way for you to learn, a way for you to grow, and a way for you to display your skills. And if you take this really odd, and the reason this came up is I had some somewhat negative comments on my, should you create a coding channel in 2018? And I show you the gradual growth of the channel, where at the end of 1 year of working, I was making like $80 a month. Now, at the end of 3 years, I'm making around $900+ and sponsorships. I'm clearing about, $1,500 to $2,000 a month. But I never thought I'd get to this point. I never started the channel to make, the cheddar, the bread, right? It was all about growing and learning. And that's the mindset you have to have when you're working as a developer. Otherwise you're going to misunderstand what it is you're trying to accomplish. When you start a side project, it needs to be in good faith that it is here to help you grow. And if you have this idea, and this isn't to say that there aren't side projects that you can turn into businesses, there aren't side projects that you can monetize. I encourage you all to monetize your side projects, but just don't set unrealistic expectations. Understand what it is what your end goal is. Is your end goal to make a little bit of money, or is your end goal there to get you a developer job, get you a promotion, get you to keep growing as an individual? And that's what I think your end goal should be when you have a side project. So keep that in mind. Keep it and don't. Not every side project is a success. I've had people on the channel who have started companies, talking about their product. And one of the common questions I ask, and sometimes it catches them off guard, but usually they're intelligent enough to understand where I'm going with this, is this your first startup? And oftentimes it's not, because they've tried things, it didn't work, but they learned from it, they grew from it. And even that will make a good story, make a good portfolio piece, so that you can continue to mature as a developer. And that's what it's about, is about growing and learning. So have that mindset with your side projects, and it will keep it fun. When you're trying to rush things, that's a slow grind. As I showed in my YouTube video, it's like, it has been a slow grind. I have 800 videos. 800. That's almost, for every video I've put out, I've made $1 a month currently. So it is a slow grind for most people, and your side projects more than likely are going to be failures. The projects you work with more than likely will never make you $1, a dime, none of that. But that doesn't mean that they can't be worth something and be valuable. I consider my side projects one of the things that have made me such a good developer, and it has helped me grow and mature as quick as I have. For somebody who's only been coding less than 2 years as a professional, I think I'm doing an excellent job. Am I working at it every day? Yeah. But am I able to keep it fun? Of course I am, because I have a side project that I can work on and keep me interested. And so you need to have that attitude when you're growing, and you definitely need to have that attitude to continue growing as a developer. So that's my 2 cents. What questions do we have today, guys? It's 3-day weekend. That's exciting, by the way. It's been a while since I've had a 3-day weekend. I'll be honest with you. It has been a while. I'm excited for a little break. I checked how much PTO I have. Recently, I have about 70 hours of accrued PTO. So I think I might be taking a trip pretty soon. Gotta use some of that stuff. If you don't use it, you lose it. That's what they say. I honestly am crazy enough just to take like 2 weeks off and then do nothing but stay inside and just knock out like 4 courses. I don't know if it'd be appreciated though by the girlfriend. She might be like, "Yo, let's go somewhere." So I think I might be taking a cruise pretty soon. That's what I'm trying to say. That'll be fun. We have an excellent sponsored video coming out later this week where we talk about starting and launching a product and sort of the mindset that goes along being a CEO. So that's going to be an excellent video. I also have a excellent video that I'm going to record later today, maybe tomorrow, talking about what hiring managers are looking for. I recently got a blog in my email saying, we interviewed from some, I forget what coding site it was. We interviewed 1,000 hiring managers, and this is what they said about what they're looking for hiring, what's important to them, and how that's changed in the past. And then we have a Jasmine unit test tutorial coming out this week. I kind of dropped the ball and didn't release a TLDR video this last week, so I apologize for that. I'm trying to do one a week. I've been a little bit busy in the personal life, though. How many hours do you work a day? So professionally, I typically work from about 8:30 to 5:30, which is about 9 hours a day, counting lunch. And then in the morning, I get up at 6:30. I would say by 6:50, I'm dressed on my computer and I'm working on it for about, we'll just say 7 for easy math. So from the moment I get up, for the most part, for an hour in the morning, I handle my emails. I respond to sponsors. I'm on YouTube. I may be editing a video. I'm doing YouTube stuff in the morning. Sometimes I'm studying. I'm solving algorithms, working on project, filming a course, whatever it is. So in the morning, I spend an hour on my own stuff before I ever go to work. And then when I get off work, I spend about 1 to 2 hours during the weekdays on my own stuff. So that I spend, if you count all that, that's about 10 hours a day, not counting lunch. On the weekends, I spend anywhere from 4 to 12. It really depends. So it depends on if I'm like got that coding itch where I'm in something new and playing around. If I'm motivated, it just sort of depends. I'm working on a CRUD project. What's your top 5 side projects you'd recommend? So I think a CRUD project is excellent, building like some sort of admin tool, because you're going to cover HTTP, and covering, in a REST standard would probably be very good if you're working with the backend. So that's one. I think that's an excellent thing. Actually connecting to a third-party API, some sort of interesting third-party API would be a great coding project. And then I think you get a little creative. I think that's just where you start a non-coding related project, a blog, a YouTube channel, build a course, something that will make you unique and that you can do long term. A portfolio page as well. An excellent portfolio page would be a good one. What's one more? I think I said 4. So something, and by the way, I would say this for just as a general caveat, that if you're doing front end, try to have it in a different framework. Just, especially if you're just getting started, you want to sort of splash about. You want to be more of a generalist. So that'd be my suggestions. Have you seen any examples of someone being hired with a portfolio of somewhat impractical projects? Impractical projects. I think the people who get noticed have impractical projects. I may be misunderstanding impractical. I understand what impractical means, but in this context, so impractical to me is fun slash what's the word I'm looking for? unique projects. So like someone did like a Dolan quotes project, and it's really well done. And I think that would be an excellent thing. And it would be really kind of funny to see something like that on a resume. And those are the things that are cool, right? Those are the things that make you stand out. Everyone's sick of seeing a quote, a non-unique quote generator, and everyone's sick of seeing a weather app. So you have to take items and, build spin items on that, and actually just build practical things. Do you have to be gifted to do well in technical interviews with Google? They seem very difficult. So I've had 2 technical interviews with Amazon, and I have had 1 technical interview with Facebook. And let me tell you, I have bombed all. Actually, no, this last one with Amazon, I did really well, and they still weren't interested. So, it is. They are hard, without a doubt. Do you have to be gifted? I don't think so. I think I could get hired by one of them if I just buckle down a little bit and go on there. Do I have any student debt? I have no debt to my name at all. I'm very fiscally conservative. I live below my means. I save money, all that sort of stuff. I don't say they necessarily want people from the top universities. That's a somewhat true statement. They want the best people. I'm not from any university, and I've been able to land job interviews. What time is it? It's about 6:45. A pure CSS logo would be something very interesting. So I mean, and that's the stuff that makes it fun. And you do I watched a 15-minute conference talk on how to make a mustache with pure CSS. That would be an excellent thing. And you could maybe build a tutorial, a blog about that, explaining that. Not only have it on there and or a video on the page showcasing how you would make such a thing, or maybe just below the mustache put pure CSS. So it's all fun stuff. Yeah, Dolan's not looking for work, so they're gonna hire him. Yeah, the Solo movie comes out this weekend. I think I'm gonna see that. I usually see most of the Star Wars movies. You hating your CS degree? I can understand that. Yeah, I've been, so I was in college. I'm lucky enough that my father paid for the years of college that resulted in no degree. And I thank him for that very, very much so. And I think when I see him for college, see him for like Thanksgiving or Christmas, I will thank him. Because otherwise I'd probably have like 30, 40 grand of debt, and I would have probably just paid it back. So it is something that I do appreciate it. But also I probably would never have gone. No, and I definitely probably, if I did, I probably would have finished. It's catch-22. Because you got to finish. Once you're 40 grand deep, you can't just drop out at the end of your junior year or something like that, right? You might as well. You're already there. Yeah, it's yeah. I wish I had more time. I'd like to get into blogging. It'd be hard though. Until I it just would I'm kind of at max capacity. That's how I would explain it. There's so much I want to do between building courses and YouTube, and eventually I started writing a book, then I stopped. I haven't touched it in months. But there's so much that I would like to do that there's just not enough time. It's the truth of the matter. So you have to sort of pick and choose, which is a good thing to have, because it means, you stay motivated, stay hungry, you're continuing to grind and grow. Oftentimes no one has one side project. I feel like I have several. So, would you recommend learning HTML, CSS, and JavaScript for web development before learning PHP, React, or Python? I would say if you're going to learn web development, you definitely need to know HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So yes, I suppose so. How do I feel about building side projects with languages you're familiar with to grow in that area versus building them in a new / foreign language / hack learning? So I would say whatever your objective is, build it in that. If your objective is to get hired as a React developer, build stuff in React. If your objective is to get hired as a Laravel developer, build stuff in Laravel. That would be my advice. I know I was going 2 hours a day until I stopped 1 week ago for exams, and I couldn't keep up. What do you suggest? Going again through courses? Well, it sounds like you're just getting started. I would say whatever you did, let's say you were doing it, let's say for the last month up until you had your finals coming up and you felt like you're falling behind. What I would say is go back and redo everything you did. Everything. If you're building a project, build it from scratch. You're going to build it quicker and you're going to learn some things, and you're going to, those things that we felt like didn't click in, they're going to click in this time because you're going to relearn it. So, that would be my suggestion. Is it required to have a diploma to work in IT? It's not required. And one of the reasons why, I don't have one, for instance, is it easier? I would say it's, I would say that it's easier, yes, because it's you have to do a lot of work to get past the HR firewall, but you have to do a lot of work for that regardless. So one of the things that makes development unique is that we actually have measurable skills that other jobs don't have. There are some jobs that you have to have degrees in to get hired, but there's a lot of jobs where you're and you don't have measurable skills. A technical support guy who's answering the phone and, doing tickets. That's not a skill per se. It is him working within a software and knowing how that software works. And that skill isn't going to transfer over to the next job because they're probably going to have a different software. So, and this, you can use this for example for a bunch of things, but in software specifically, you have skills that can transfer over and you can be tested on them to see how well you understand concepts and all that sort of stuff. So that's what makes software so unique, which is why in many instances, you don't need a degree is preferred and not required. So Digital Shaolin's donated $10. So thank you very much for that. Shaolin. I appreciate that very much. How fluent do you have to be in JavaScript and framework like React to be hireable? It's so in JavaScript, you're gonna have to be fluent in JavaScript in the sense that you're gonna have to be able to solve whiteboard problems. If I tell you to reverse a string or do a FizzBuzz algorithm on a whiteboard in a group of front of people, and you can't do that at the bare minimum, you're gonna have a hard time getting hired. So you're gonna need to be comfortable with that and prepared for that. And you're also gonna need you're gonna need to be able to understand what array methods are and how they work, and some of the what the difference between map, filter, sort, reduce is, and string methods and all that, and how to maybe pull keys from an object. You're going to have to understand JavaScript and all that sort of stuff. And you're going to need to be fluent in the latest JavaScript, ES6 Plus. ES6 came out in 2015. If you don't know ES6 by now, you're not going to get a job. That's just the truth, Matt. I wouldn't hire somebody with 10, 15 years experience if they showed up and they didn't write ES6. If I saw a VAR in a take-home project, you're not up to date enough. It's been 3 years. You're talking about 2015. We're halfway through 2018 and you're still using VAR and you're not using backticks. You don't understand the spread operator. These are things that, not that they're super important. They are important, but not that they're going to make it or break it or you can't learn it. It's that you haven't stayed up to date on the field. You're not progressing is what I'm saying. You're writing code from 2015. I need you writing code from 2018. These are the types of things that they're not conceptual things. It shows me that you wouldn't be moving forward. So that's one thing. So you need to be up to date in JavaScript. You need to be comfortable with strings, array methods, all that sort of stuff. So strings, arrays, numbers, booleans. You have to understand data types, how they work. And then for React, you're just gonna have to have some projects in React. You're gonna have to be more comfortable with the libraries that React's use. Redux, React Router. All that sort of stuff that goes along with it. That's what you're going to need to know to be hireable in JavaScript and React. So what's going on, FinTech? In your experience, is reverse engineering code something you're into, or do you try to figure it out on your own as much as possible? What are the pros and cons? For reverse engineering, I'm guessing you see a project and you try to build it. I mean, it's cool. It's a little bit dry in the sense that it's not going to be unique, right? It's not even your project, and you're probably not going to feel very passionate about it. But I think it's important for you not to worry about being passionate when you're just getting started. Although I think it's excellent to start a side project when you have a passionate idea and you're passionate about growing this over years, whether it be a YouTube channel, a blog, a actual web application. That's all fine and dandy. But I don't want people to get hung up on starting that side project that they're super passionate about and never writing code. And that happens all the time. People get sort of paralyzed because they're like, oh my God, I don't have something that I can see myself working on for 5 years. I didn't think I was going to work on YouTube for 3+ years. Here we are. All right. So just get started and keep grinding. Is 1 hour a day good, or should I really go for as many hours as possible? It kind of depends on where you're at in your life. I would say the bare minimum is probably 1 hour a day. I recommend that when you're starting and learn 3 to 4 hours a day every day until you get a job. That's my recommendation. Everyone has time in their schedule to do it. I worked a full-time job, did it, and I did more than that on the weekends. I encourage you to do it as well. So that might be my personal recommendation, I guess, if you're trying to learn and trying to get a job. How long did it take you to get 43,000 subscribers? On the 5th of June, I think. So basically 3 years. Do people throw out resumes because they don't live in that area? Yes, it is a true thing. So one thing that I recommend for people to do if you're trying to relocate is on there where you put your city in parentheses, go ahead and put looking to relocate or relocating soon. Are there any communities that you know that do a group project or one that can volunteer time for knowledge or something along those? So in my Facebook group that I've created called Code Tech and Caffeine, we have over 6,000 members now. I know on several occasions where people have reached out, said, hey, I want to start a group project. Anybody in? And people have connected that way. So I encourage you to do that. And that happens pretty regularly. Would learning C++, C# Java on my own before taking computer science course at community college help for passing a coding interview for front-end development? It may. I mean, for front-end specifically, you're probably going to want to know JavaScript, maybe some TypeScript. Would writing Lite and const be more appropriate than var? Yes. What should I do if you shouldn't find jobs in my area? You should move. The sad thing about var is Codecademy still teaches var. Use Lite. Yes. Would using the template literal backticks according to ES6 be the most appropriate way to concatenate strings for today's market? Yes. I wouldn't probably shit on somebody too hard for I wouldn't eliminate them for using backticks, for not using them. But if I saw someone use var, and I stand by this, but at that point, so here's the thing: it's kind of a catch-22. No one's going to submit perfect take-home project or perfect code that's using var. It just doesn't happen that way, or quote unquote perfect code, because they care. They're staying up to date. They're learning. They're grinding. They're growing. Those are the people that care. So it's very rare. So when it's sort of like a red flag, like, oh my goodness, this guy's not as this guy's not up to date. This guy's not staying on, and the code reflects it. So would I immediately throw somebody out? No, but they're basically, I'm just looking for a reason at that point is how I would say it. And there's plenty if they're using VAR. I assure you, there's plenty to follow up. Would you do a pair programming video with one of your subscribers? No. I don't know. I have not looked at Flutter, no. Although after this Jasmine tutorial, I have to start learning some new shit. I don't really have much left to teach you guys, so I'm probably going to start picking up a few of these JavaScript libraries to start, stuff I've used, and I'm going to start playing around in Vue and a little bit more in React, start building some projects in that. So. Do you know if there's a job where I can learn to code better on the job? I mean, there's jobs that will hire you that you'll get better with. How do I feel about the new free code camp, new platform, Learn Free Code Camp? I would love to know when they're just going to make it freecodecamp.org, but I've checked the content out before. It seems solid. Yeah. If you still live in the town you grew up in, you should move. Laugh my ass off. I wouldn't say that. I would say that most likely, yes, but that doesn't mean anything. The thing is most likely the opportunity, unless your town's very unique, all the opportunities aren't in your town. But yes, 99.9% of the time you should leave. Should I do free code camp 4 hours a day? You should be working towards being a better developer until you have a job 3 to 4 hours a day. Thank you for recommending the Grow with Google Web Developer Scholarship. This November, I was able to complete the 3-month trial period, receive scholarship for 6-month nano degree in front end. You're welcome. That's a $200 fee, though. No. Good luck, man, with everything. Does having some open source contribution help in the interview process? Yes, it does. No, it's just the essential oil. What if I've only got $4,000 and can't afford to leave? If you got $4,000, you got more than most people. I saw something the other day that said something like 54% of America would either have to sell something or borrow money for a $400 bill. So my advice to you is either work more until you can get there or figure it out. No, I can't help you with your video processing. What are your thoughts on data science for developers' career? Data science is more in demand than development. It is super in demand, but I will say that data science seems to be a field that is a little harder to get into, in the sense that it does require it does require a degree most of the time. That doesn't mean you can't break into it. It just means that I'm not educated enough to tell you about how to do it. But it is a field that you can go into with a lot of different degrees. Finance, mathematics, business, computer science. There's a ton of different stuff that goes in that direction. Yeah, a lot of people are broke as shit. That's true. And a lot of people use credit cards and they have car payments that they can't afford, and they have apartments and houses that they can barely afford. So trust me, man, it's true. I have people make fun. There are family members and there are friends and there are colleagues and everybody in between that makes fun of how much money I save and how conservative I am on things. I'm not conservative about everything. I spend $10 to $15 on lunch every day, but there are things where I'm like, I have a $13,000 car that's I basically bought in cash, and that is missing a hubcap. But I refuse to buy the 4th hubcap. I don't need the hubcap. I ain't gonna buy it. It's probably cost me one of my lunches, but I'm not doing it. The point is that if you can't pay for something in cash, you probably don't need it. And if you just apply that to your life, you'll be in a much better situation than 99% of people. Those same people who don't have $400, those same people who don't have $400 don't have a phone with a big fucking purple bar down it and it's been cracked. This has been like this almost a year. I just got a new one. It's in the mail. On the side note. But those same people who can't afford a $400 bill have a $1,000 iPhone. Spent 3 weeks of their income on an iPhone. Makes no fucking sense. So keep that in perspective. No, it's not part of my wallpaper. My phone has been cracked and broken for almost a year. I did buy a new phone. I just got the OnePlus 6T, 8 gigs of RAM with a 256 gigabyte hard drive. So now that I have that coming in the mail, I will I'll probably some people have asked me to do videos that aren't in the hair and just like, hey, why don't you go, I know people like Chris Hawks go on walks and stuff like that or in the backyard, or so I might change up the scenery a little bit. So that's something that I'll probably do. Have I interviewed for big tech giants? I've interviewed at Amazon and Facebook. I didn't get very far in the interview process. But this is a true thing. And like, I don't want to dive too hard on finance because, look, man, I've been broke most of my life, but I've never been in debt. I learned very young at like 20 that debt is bad, and I didn't get a credit card until I didn't need one. And so I closed 2 credit cards, paid them off. I borrowed $2,000 from my brother or so, and I paid him back gradually, closed it, and forgot about it. And then 8 years later, I opened a credit card. I rebuilt my credit, and this was after I didn't need the money. And most of the time, we don't need the money for shit. People have such bad financial decisions. It's so hard. They live beyond their means, and they're always. Do you know how stress-free it is knowing that if I got a call right now saying, "Hey, Dylan, we're gonna let you go," it would suck, but I wouldn't be fucked. A lot of you right now, and if you're not doing, maybe not you in chat, I'm assuming you're trying to better your life. So if you're in a shitty situation, you're hopefully trying to get yourself out of it so that you can get skills, get better, get a good income, and mature. That's what I hope most people in here. But the majority of people here in this world, in America, I'm just going to talk about America. The majority of people in America, if they lost their job today, would be fucked. Absolutely long-dicked. Take them out behind the barn, put them down. They don't have 2 months of savings. They don't have 1 month of savings. We just heard 54% of people can't cover a $400 bill. Now imagine you have no money coming in. That 54% has money coming in they can't afford. Oh my goodness. Imagine that. Imagine that. They can't pay their rent. Their kids, they're going to be eating at their friend's house because they ain't no food in the house. This is real life stuff. The majority of people have awful financial decisions. And if one bad thing, if one hiccup in life happens, they're going to be in an awful situation. I can tell you, man, that having money available by lowering my cost of living and lowering my means has given me a sense of calm and stress that how many people never get through life? How many people And I'm not talking about if you're a college student, by the way, or something like that. I'm talking about people who are grown-ass men and women who aren't bettering themselves and aren't moving on to the next stage of their life. They're in this stage of life where they're going to live paycheck to paycheck till they die. And that is something that somehow they never got out of. Somehow that wasn't a priority for them. Somehow they didn't want to get rid of that stress. Do you know what? And this is a real question. Imagine if you didn't have to worry about money right now. Imagine that. Imagine if you didn't have to do the bills. Imagine that. I don't worry about money anymore. It is the strangest thing. Do I want more money? Are there things I want to buy, like a house? And no, I don't worry about, I don't need my next check to come in to pay the rent. I don't need that. I don't need the next check to come in to keep these lights on, to put food in the fridge. And I don't need a credit card to pay for it until the next check comes. That is a feeling very few people know. And it is a wonderful feeling. It is something that is so strange to a lot of people. And it's not something that happens overnight. It's not something that just happens either. It has been hard work. It has been continual growth and making good, strong, hard decisions. When I wanted a new PC, I wanted a great PC. I didn't finance it. When I needed a car, I didn't finance it. When I needed to pay for this and that, I didn't put it on a card. And you can too. You just have to make those decisions. And people don't, unfortunately. I've said it so many times before, like the cashier at McDonald's who saw my purple phone, and he saw my purple phone. He's like, yo, man, it's a boosted phone. And then he's like, check this out. And it shows me his iPhone X. Look, man, I got no problem with you hustling. If you work in McDonald's and then you get off McDonald's and you're out there doing Uber, and before Uber, you're out there, studying code, whatever it is. Cool, man. Work your McDonald's job. Have a game plan to get out, get up, move forward. But what you can't be doing is getting a $700 paycheck and spending $1,000 on a phone. That is it. That you can't be doing that ever. Ever. I just bought a $700 phone, paid for it cash. Because cool. You cannot. If you have, look, here's the thing, guys. If you can't pay for something in cash, you don't need it. Don't fall for the 0 interest payment plans. Don't you fucking finance a couch? Don't you finance a fucking fridge? None of this shit, dude. Knock it off. It is so ridiculous. I'm this close to starting a finance channel. I swear to God, man. I swear to God. And it is literally dumb as hell, as the kids say. It is so unbelievably ridiculous. Do you know where I get the majority of my shirts? Do you know who financed couches? Go around here. Don't go to a payday loan. These same people who are struggling, dying, thinking about their bills. They have to figure out how they're going to pay for their bills. They're doing over here. They're doing math, all these calculations, all this sort of shit. They are going to fucking there are these places all around here, like a payday loans. They are going to payday loans to give away 2% of their check just because no banks will let them deposit them there anymore. No banks are like, look, we can't put you in here right now. It is so unbelievably crazy. Start making good financial decisions, and they start small. They start by not overdrafting your account, making sure you have money in there. Overdrafts cost like $35. And people finance furniture all the time. I could drive into like 3 parking lots, and there are furniture stores there that you can finance. It is absolutely unbelievable. This is a weekend AMA, guys. Whenever you see weekend AMA, the videos are staying up. So calm down, all right? It's just the coding study video. But this is the truth, man. So start small, continue to grow, continue to grind, and figure these things out. And forget about passive incomes. And just Pay off your debt. Keep it off. Keep it down. Keep it dead. Save up some money. And then you can start worrying about passive income. You got people worrying about, how can I get a passive income? Start getting rid of things you're paying interest on before you pay interest on, before you make interest. It is a good feeling to have your money make money. It is an awful feeling that most people are in, where their money is actually losing money. Your money needs to make you money. Don't have it lose you money. Make money with your money. Nobody wants to work till the day they die. Nobody wants to work, really. Most of us will work for other people. Most of us will be in that situation. But you should, while you're doing that, figure out a way so that you don't have to. Maybe it's 20, 30, 40 years from now. Great. Figure out a smart way for that not to be your norm at one point in your life where you can be free. Let the money work for you. Not the other way around. Exactly. I don't know how we got started on this. This is a coding channel, not a finance channel. Everything I say in here is not financial advice. This is just my opinion. I am not a financial advisor in any form of the matter. But the same, I guess my point being, this is my point. Let's bring it home a little bit. My point being that you need to start making smart decisions in general. That's about, if you want to become a developer and you are not a developer, you need to put the time in, the work in. If you can't get jobs, you need to get better. If you can't, you can't land an interview, you need to continue to grow. You need to not make excuses. And the same goes for your finance. If you don't make enough money, you need to figure out how to. And this is all about changing your mindset as well. There's only so much money you can save. There's only so much money you can save. I'll give you an example. You have to have rent most of the time. You have to pay for food, probably need a cell phone and the internet. At some point, you need to understand that there's only so much money you can save. And a lot of broke ass people are always just trying to figure out how they can save $1 here, $1 there. There's nothing wrong with that. But you really have to figure out how you can make more money. How can I live a decent life and make more money so that, you know what? I don't have to eat top ramen. I've done that in my life. I don't ever want to go back to eating nothing but top ramen. I'll still have some top ramen to this day. A little cup, styrofoam, fill up with the hot water. Great. It's very good to have some top ramen on occasion, but by choice. I don't want you guys to have top ramen the rest of your life because you can't continue can't figure out how to make more money, how to grow, how to mature, how to be a successful individual. So the truth of the matter, and this is why I get so upset, man. This is why I get so upset, is that so many people make excuses as to why they don't have a job, why they don't have any money, all that sort of stuff. And oftentimes, if you don't have any money, get a second job. That's it right there. If you don't have enough money to pay your bills, get another job. If you don't have a dev job, put more time in. Continue moving forward. Stop making excuses for yourself and don't think things are just going to happen. They don't. Things don't happen. All of you can become a dev today if you keep moving forward. You can do it. You just have to put the work in. No one's going to say it's going to be easy. And that's why I get so upset with these clickbait ass videos that tell you, you can become a dev in 30 days. Let me tell you how. Don't believe the lies. And don't look for the get rich quick scheme. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. You know, I tell people, I want to buy a house cash. I want to buy a house cash. Let me say that one more time. I want to buy a house cash fucking money. I want to buy cash. I want to buy a job, cash money. I don't want to have any debt. Will I? Maybe not. But I could, and I'm thinking about it. And just the fact that I'm thinking about it, and I tell people, some who I respect, some who are colleagues, some who are family, they think that's an absurd idea. You could never do it. Yes, you can. If you save your money, you work hard, you grind it out, you can go and buy it cash. But it's going to be hard work. It's going to be hard work. And this is the thing is, we all can do whatever we want. It's just going to be hard work. And the issue is that people only have 5 days of hard work in them. They got Monday through Friday, and it's really Monday through Thursday, and they phone in on Friday. I can work much harder than that for much longer. So be willing to take chances. Be willing to grow. But above all else, work hard every day. Every day. Every day. Until you get what you want. And by then, if you've actually learned how to work hard, you will continue to grow. And with that growth, you'll see new things. You'll see new objectives, new goals, new outcomes. You say, you know what? I bought a house cash. I feel like a baller. That's great. Now let's buy an investment property cash. Whatever it may be, you can continue to grow. You lost 80 pounds, Kevin? Son of a bitch. Good for you, man. It's hard to tell how overweight you were from your profile picture. Yeah, keep up the good work, man. Is trying to work smarter, not harder, like studying with AP exams, just not applicable to growing as a developer? So if you're in college, your first goal should be to knock college out as cheaply and as quickly as possible. If you are also in college, if you're in college, I would also suggest starting a very unique side project. That would be it. He's now 180 pounds, now he's 100. I need to learn design. I can't design a website. Mine looks like crap. There's some Udemy courses. This is something I would like to do. I'll be building a style guide for my work at some point in time, and be looking into CSS Grid and things like that this weekend. So that'll probably be what the next video is about. Just getting familiar with CSS Grid and SAS and all that sort of stuff. Oh man. Yeah, this is why I can't do live streams, dude. You guys get me too worked up. I want to thank our earlier donator, by the way, who donated $10. It is appreciated for just so you guys know, every dollar that I make from YouTube, that includes sponsors. That includes. So I live. Let's you know what? Fuck it. We'll make this a finance video. I'm not done talking about this finance stuff. So I live off of my income, my salary. My salary comes in, and I save approximately 1/3 of my salary. 1/3 of my salary, I save. Boom, goes straight into the bank. Okay. It used to be about 1/2, but now it's 1/3. April hasn't been working, and I pick up those bills. I'm happy to do it. All this sort of stuff. So it's cut into the savings a little bit. So 1/3 of my check, 33% of my check goes straight into there. And you're saying, damn, Dylan, that's a lot, but you got YouTube money too. 0% of my YouTube money in the last 6 months, maybe longer, 0% gets spent. 0%. It goes straight into the same account my savings goes into. Why? Because it's important to save money and accomplish things. Yeah, the only reason it's not in the stocks right now is I originally was going to buy a house and I transferred it out of stocks. I typically only keep about $3,000 cash in the bank. Everything else is liquid assets. So, I don't know. I guess the reason I share that is I want to explain to you that when I tell you about these things, I'm saying this to explain that this is I practice what I preach. I don't like giving advice for things that I don't have experience in. What about doubts of fears of not being skillful enough? I have a whole video about imposter syndrome. Would you review season 1 of Rich Friends, Poor Friends for Engineering Truth? It wouldn't be a bad idea. Let me write that down. I might start a finance channel. You never know, man. I don't know that I have the time for a channel. And I'd have to, no one's going to listen to anybody who doesn't have like $1 million net worth. Bad time for real estate. Yeah, it'll pop. They're giving out the same boosted ass loans that they were given before. Everyone's about to lose their house. Oh, man. All right, guys. It has been a pleasure. I'm actually kind of hungry, so I am going to go eat some dinner. I haven't had dinner yet. I appreciate you all. It's a 3-day weekend, which means I'm going to be putting in some work, coding, finish up the course I'm working on. I also have a great new I also have a great new T-shirt that I'm not going to spoil it for you. You'll see it in an upcoming video once it gets done. We'll go from there. So with that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for the donations. They go directly towards buying me a house. So whenever you're donating that $10, that's like a brick for the house. I appreciate that, man. So thank you very much. It's a doorknob and a brick. Thank you guys for watching, and see you next time. Look forward. I have 3 videos coming out this week, and it's gonna be fun, man. Bye, guys.